All right, joining us now from Washington, D.C. with a look at Axios' AM, the co-founder of Axios, Mike Allen. Mike, good to have you with us this morning. So what's the one big thing heading into this morning?
Well, good morning. And on the first day of spring, one big thing, why the president is shaking up his legal team. The probe by the special counsel is turning out to be messier and longer than the White House thought. So the president is adding Joe diGenova, a former U.S. attorney who's been prominent in D.C. for decades, going back to when he was an independent counsel in 1992, going back to the Bush-Clinton era. He's putting him around the table. And what does this show? This shows that the president is continuing to respond to cues from TV. Joe diGenova is best known from cable TV and has been out arguing for the president very aggressively. And so the result of this is another pugilistic, another tough guy around the table. That makes you think that some of that rattling of the special counsel that we saw over the weekend, some of the shots from the White House to the special counsel, won't be the end.
And we've heard a little bit earlier about the president possibly losing confidence in his legal team. What are we hearing about a possible shakeup on that front?
Yeah, so this is a big addition, and this shows that the White House knows that this is going to go for a while, that their talking point about how there's nothing here, this will be done quickly, nothing to see here, that won't last. And we're hearing that the president is less confident as he talks to people inside. He's talking to people who tell him that some of his team may not be at the top of their game. And the important thing to know here is that the president, who's been in litigation most of his adult life, is very acutely sensitive to his legal team, just like he obsesses about his press coverage. So this is a client who is not going to give the reins to his team. And we have the Washington Post reporting this morning that the president is making decisions about what he's going to say independent of his team. Certainly a lawyer's nightmare.
Let's pivot a little bit and talk about Facebook and this whole Cambridge Analytica scandal. Why is that turning out to be one of the most damaging scandals in Facebook's history? It's lost almost $40 billion in a single day.
Yeah, ever since the election, Facebook has been in the spin cycle, getting hit left and right. But Axios is reporting this morning that this is the most damaging episode for them. And it's not just because it's the first time that it's really hit their share prices. And there's not even a new shocking revelation about Facebook here. We knew that Facebook was vulnerable, and we knew that Facebook data could be used from outsiders. But this has really called into a question about trust in Facebook. Facebook needs us to spend time there. And if we're not trusting it, if we're not willing to give it as much data, Facebook suddenly becomes less valuable, and that's what you're seeing the market saying. So the problem with the Russia investigation is that it's just opened a Pandora's box of questions about Facebook, how it works, how it operated.
So given all of those concerns, has Facebook's response been somewhat appropriate? Are you getting a sense from Washington, D.C. that legislators want to try to do something about this issue given Facebook's involvement in Cambridge Analytica now?
Yeah, as your viewers know, there already was appetite left and right to regulate the big tech companies or rein in the big tech companies. That really has added to this. And both in London and in Washington, we're hearing legislators saying that they don't want just spokespeople, just lawyers for these platforms. They specifically want the Facebook founder and CEO, Mark Zuckerberg, both in London and here. We're having calls for him personally to appear. Facebook hasn't wanted that image of the top executives raising their right hand as if they were tobacco company executives or oil company executives. But it looks like to satisfy legislators, there is going to have to be a top face out there and up here.
Mike, before I let you go, get your take on one big question. Robert Mueller, there's been some questions that the president may put pressure on Rod Rosenstein to have him fired. Republicans have been saying there's no need to protect the special counsel. What do you make of the Republican reaction so far to that charge that the president may be trying to put pressure on Rod Rosenstein to have Mueller fired?
Well, that clip that you played earlier here on First Look of Orrin Hatch saying that would be the stupidest thing the president could do. That's a widely held view, I can tell you, both inside and outside the White House. If firing the FBI director, James Comey, which led to the appointment of the special counsel, if that was, as Steve Bannon has said, one of the dumbest mistakes in political history, the president doesn't want to top it.
All right, Mike Allen, live for us in Washington, D.C. Thank you very much. We're going to be reading Axios AM in just a little bit.